Welcome back to Bucked Up Landscaping, where we even have customized plates. Let's get into it. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning into today's episode. We have 3 different jobs we're going to tackle over the course of the day. The first one being we have to head down to the fire department and get the fire barn mowed around. Keep our boys in red looking as pristine as their mustaches. Secondly, we are heading back to that wonderful site that we did last episode, and we're going to be picking up the mini truck and the K10. I read the comments, and the majority of you guys wanted the mini truck and the K10. As much as I'd like to buy a bunch more stuff, I'm listening to the smart financial decision of buy what you're able to afford. And lastly, we're going to be bringing it home with helping out our community. There is a local gentleman who has received countless complaints from the town board that he needs to get his property maintenance or someone to come out and clean it up. This poor fellow is pushing 86 and his mobility has really been limited, so we're going to surprise him today by going out and mowing his yard, whatever it takes to get it cleaned up so he does not get hit by a fine from the local town board. The fire department's not a huge lot, but it helps when you have a bigger lawnmower just so you can get things done rather quick. I'll get our Model A with the woods mower off the back of the trailer, and we'll get cutting some grass. If you guys do indeed love and enjoy the landscaping series and you'd love to see more bucked up content, be sure to head down below and smash that like button. And if you're really thinking you're getting fancy, consider subscribing down below. I got a little story for you guys. If you haven't seen in my community posts, about 2 weeks ago, or 2 to 3 weeks ago, I went up to my neighbors who actually own this international tractor, and I found out that it is a 130 Farmall. And if we head into the store and take a look-sees, we can see that in the Farmall 100, I put all of them as a cub because I couldn't figure out what the actual model was. We can build the exact tractor that is sitting up in that shed. I'm not going to ditch the Model A. It's still a really good tractor, but that makes a lot of sense. The mower's from around the 1950s. I did meet up with the owner and ask that when it came time for spring, if I would be able to go up and use some Andy Clean to really make the tractor shine. The tractor hasn't moved over the last 2 years besides once to start it, and that was because a family member ended up passing away. They did agree that it would be fine if I went up there and cleaned off the tractor. That'll be something you guys can be excited for once it gets a little warmer than, oh, I don't know, -12 when we wake up. The fire department takes really good care of us and pays us about $150 every month that we come out and mow, which I believe they are due. I'll need to run inside and get that check picked up, or at least invoice them for it. This thing doesn't make the prettiest looking stripes, but dang does it cut grass well. Some of this stuff I might just have to go into landscape and paint as really short grass. I think there's a boundary line for the property line that's getting in the way of the mower being able to cut it. I'll pop over to the Craftsman, get the rest of this property tuned up, and we'll see you guys over at that previous job to look at buying the K10 and the mini truck. In order to try and save space, I rotated the lawnmower sideways and scooted that Farmall about as far up on the trailer as I could get it. I think we'll have enough room for that mini truck, but I know we'll have to come back for the K10. Hey, they really did clean this place up. Oh, they haven't gotten rid of the mowers yet. Dang it, they also got rid of the tugboat. That's the one thing I actually kind of wanted for no stupid reason. I kind of hope we can pick up this place as an actual job site. I really liked mowing this yard. It turned out really nice. This, if we have a jump box somewhere in this shed, we might be able to get it started. Because all it looked like it needed some fuel, a quick squirt of some starter fluid in the old carburetor, and I think it'll pop off. Oh yeah. They only want $2,300 for this thing. I can definitely justify that. Yeah! Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. It's the perfect car size for me! Look out, world. I found my calling. I gotta take this thing for a spin. It is so stupid how much I want one of these. There's a website that you can go to. It's called carsfromjapan.com. I kid you not. You can have vehicles from Japan bought and imported to the United States for whatever the price tag is on them. There's some guy Well, I went to a car show and he bought one of those little K trucks. I think he said he paid like $3,400. He had to drive down to Freeport, Texas. It was so cool. I have no idea what I'm going to use this thing for, but it definitely is coming home with me. If I can't put a trailer hitch on it, I could probably get a little push mower and just go around and do city jobs with this thing. That way I can save on fuel, and I also look like an absolute buffoon. It fits the BUCH'D genre. It really does. Ooh. This isn't good, though. Fear not, I've watched videos about how people park trike tractors on trailers like this. You have to start way to the one side, going all the way to the other. Pop the front tire up. And yeah! Up, 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 up. Ooh. That might be a little too close. We could put this in the back of the truck bed. That might work. Give me a second.
12 seconds later.
Adapt, achieve, overcome. Now to get the more difficult of the two fired up. This truck's been sitting here for who knows how many years. I have no idea if it's missing any parts. I guarantee you the battery's either dead or missing. And I highly doubt that the dual fuel tank system works on it anymore. Wait, it doesn't have dual tanks. Well, that saves me that problem. Yeah, even when you turn the key and have the door open, it doesn't do that nasty. There is a battery, but the connections are very corroded. We put a jump box on it. We also have, not really a puddle, but probably more starter fluid than there should be in the bowl. Let's pump the gas pedal and send it. Yeah! Let's see, do we have any gauges? We do not have any gauges. That's got to be the most General Motors thing I've ever seen. Doesn't have any working tacks, but the vehicle runs just fine. Do we have forward? Oh, yes, we do. Do we have reverse? Yes, we do. It's a 350 small block. It'll do. Let's make this thing do its maiden voyage for the first time in probably a decade. Oh, it's a modified transmission. This has got 6-speed gearbox. You see, it usually only came with 4 speeds. Someone's been messing around with this thing. It is built to move. I think somebody stroked this motor. There's no way this is a stock 350 small block. The 6-speed transmission gives it away clear as day. I'll have to just get my checkbook out. They wanted $2,300 for that mini truck, and they want $12,500 for this. Considering that it runs and drives and gets up and moves as easy as it did, I'll just pay them full price. Honestly, that is cheap for a square body that's this nice of a condition and 4-wheel drive. Thank you, ma'am. You have yourself a fantastic day. And also, let us know if you want us to contract the landscape for you. We can come out here and do it anytime. I think she said she'll get the titles mailed to us within about a week. They got them in a storage locker downtown. I'll drop by the shop first before we stop at the main property. That way we can get this mini truck off. Probably we'll come back later today or send out Corey, maybe Daryl, to come and get the Chevy. I know they won't mind. If anything, I might want to watch... Well, never mind. The fuel gauge doesn't work anyway. To all my gearheads that might be tuning in, what is your favorite kind of engine? Are you a small block Chevy kind of guy? You a big block Chevy? Are you a Cummins diesel, Power Stroke diesel, Duramax, Windsor, Roadrunner, if you know what those are? That also goes for the Fireball V6, more worldwide known as the 3800. It's also a really great radio station. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check that out at BUCHDUPproductions.com. I still have no idea what this thing's going to be used for. I think I might try and find a little push mower just so we can do tiny residential yards with it. It would be so funny to roll up and be like, yo, you need your yard mowed? One. I'm sorry. I don't know why that made me laugh that much. At least it's easy to store this thing. Just set it back by the compressor. It sounds about the same when it's running anyway. Hey, fire department got our check made. Sweet. Besides that stupid little mini truck, we got a lot bigger tasks at hand. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one. Let's get moving. Yikes. Yeah, that lawn has definitely seen better days. Property dimensions are about a full acre, give or take the where the easement really is. The old International definitely has its work cut out for it. I'll head up to the door, meet our lovely friend, kind of let him know what's going on, and we'll get ourselves to work. That's a really nice arrow nose. Wait a minute, these arrow noses? I think those are arrow noses. Technically, it's also an OBS, but I always prefer OBS to be a Chevy. Well, good morning.
Well, hello there.
I'm here with BUCH'D Landscaping. Heard that you've been having some problems taking care of the yard, and, well, quite frankly, I'm here to help you out with that.
Taking time to talk to the elderly. How nice of you.
Yep, got my own landscaping company. You do not need to worry about anything. If you'd like to come out and help, you're more than welcome to, or you can just come out and watch. I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned up for you so you do not have to pay that fine that the town board's trying to get you to pay.
Great.
There's no acceptable reason why the community can't come out here and help you.
Leave some land for the neighbors, will you? Nah, just kidding.
Hey, absolutely. It's my pleasure, sir.
Hope you got everything under control.
Yep, you have a good one. We'll see you here in a bit. Really nice guy. I didn't really catch his name. I think he said his name's Dan. Either way, I bet he'd get a hoot out of this old International. I'm going to keep this thing in low because we have a plenty of grass and other sources of materials that are going to be going through this mower deck. And I don't know what's underneath all of this. Whoa, I can see that. Really should have brought my weed whacker. Why I did not, I couldn't tell you. Man, we got another huge pile of junk. Once we get this place mowed out, I think I'll call my buddies over at B&S Junk and we'll see if we can start getting the yard cleaned up. There's no reason why this place can't look like it could be sold tomorrow on a real estate auction. And I bet you $10 that if he can get this place cleaned up and looking really nice, they might be trying to do that for him. Since we were talking about 3800s a little earlier, I think it's time we tune ourselves into that wonderful radio station, get you guys some music while we putt along in this yard. Hopefully we can get this place looking like it has a brand new haircut.
The city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, brat raises, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5, happy with the simple life.
Wow, I cannot believe the difference that mowing a front yard can make. That is crazy. I think we'll just keep going with our side-to-side pattern. This thing doesn't have enough power to really go up and down the hillside. That's probably where that 130 would really come in handy with that little bit of extra power. Oh, hold on. What's Dan doing up there? Oh, I get it.
How's it going, kiddo? What's the good word?
Yeah, this old farm-o, man, she definitely gets the job done. I'm not a big IH guy, but I have a special place in my heart for little tractors like this. My question to you is, would I be able to see what's inside here? You got any tractors? You got anything cool in there?
Sure.
Hold on. What is that? Don't you dare tell me you have one of those V8 IHs. These things are 1468. Jeez, that is a huge tractor. Oh, hey, there's an Alice in here, too. What's this? WD-45. Okay, not bad. Dan's got a pretty good taste in agriculture. Kind of like that little skid steer. I'd almost like to buy that for the shop, but I already have the Kubota, so it makes no sense. That thing is insane. This thing's got some power. You know, Dan, if we get a couple of these things out of the way, I'd be more than willing to help you try and get this thing started quick.
Great.
Really just got to shove the boxes and the trash cans out of the way. You probably just drag this outside and we can get the tractor tires out and it'd be wide enough. As much as I'd like to try and delete this stuff, it's not wanting to delete, so we're just going to drive right over it if we can get this thing started. All right, Dan, you ready to go?
Let's see.
Oh, come on! Spray some ether in that intake. We'll get this thing to run. Yeah! Man, this thing's actually pretty quiet. That's a shame. Do we have forward? Oh, yep, we have forward. Do we have reverse? Yep, we got reverse. Man, Dan is a super chill guy. He's got pickups laying around. We might be able to get some pretty cool vehicles from this guy. Help him out. Please tell me this thing just has a massive roar when we take off. It's got to. There's no way it doesn't. Well, Dan, mind if I take it down the road and see what she's got?
Sure.
Oh, this is gonna be so cool. These things are pretty rare models now. If it had the front wheel assist, it'd probably be one of the rarest internationals ever made. The V8s on these tractors, I mean, it sounded just about as good as a Detroit. Let's put this thing in high forward and just give it the beans. Oh. Yo! What is that? Oh, this just became one of my favorite tractors of all time. Holy cow. That sounds phenomenal. I kind of find it funny how they have a headlight listed as a turn signal. Something was wired wrong. We got to get this thing back. I know I can't afford this tractor, but oh, someday, baby. Someday. This would be a tractor to have, I tell you what. I have to floor one more time. This thing sounds incredible. Everything's got a price tag. I might see what Dan would want for this. There's no way I'm going to be able to buy it, but I'm going to ask him. There's got to be a price tag for this. Dan, I got to ask, what would be the price tag on this? It's no sale. That's all right. Definitely appreciate it. Let me take that out. That was fantastic. That is a keeper. You got to hold on to that one. I don't care how old they say you are. You keep this tractor. And if you don't, sell it to me because I really want it. I got to get back to mowing. Dan had some really good taste. There's no way he's got an International 200. That is a absolute beast of a truck. It's even got an old Toyota. Is that a mail truck? This dude just keeps getting better and better on my friends list. I swear, I've always wanted to buy a mail truck. Mark my words. I will have a mail truck. I'm also trying to clear a pad so we can set the stuff that's in the shed out in the open air as long as it starts. That way we can call a crew and get the stuff on the inside of the shed hauled out. I'm kind of worried for that Alice Chalmers. It's got some parts that looks like it's missing on the engine, so we might just yank that one out. Plus, it's buried in the back. The skid steer might have some hope. There is a truck there. What is that? Is that a Yoda? No. Looks like it's got the mirror of a Chevy, but it also looks like it could be a Ranger. What is that? Oh, it's an S10. It's a beefy S10. It's got the Heartbeat of America plate on it. That's cool. If I need to buy a used project vehicle, I think I know where to go. Hate to say it, screw doing this job for free. Let's just pick up a vehicle and take it home with us as payment. I don't think he'd mind. We'll check back in with old Dan. I want you guys to head down to the comments like last episode and let me know if we're to take a vehicle off of this property from Dan. Which one do you think we should take as a possible project vehicle? The one that would take the most work is hands down either the school bus or the mail truck. But as for the Toyota, the International, or especially that S10, just as a personal vehicle, which one do you think we should take? I also wonder if the snowplow would come with the Toyota. I gotta mention it. I think this tractor is by far the most fuel efficient piece of machinery I have ever seen in my life. We have put about 2¼ hours on this, and we have only dropped about maybe 5 to 8% on our fuel gauge. And look at the stuff it's cutting. This is not cutting this plush, luscious green fairway on the golf course. This is this is some rough stuff. These wood mowers, man, they were built to last and take a beating. This thing's got some seriously mean looking tires on it. Maybe we'll uncover all the vehicles and kind of have a better idea of which one we can pick. Buckle up, I want to try something. I need that bumper sticker for my car. Besides the International, that would be the most practical vehicle to buy. I mean, you wouldn't have to do very much to that. If there's one thing I know, them Japanese know how to build a motor. Japan, I'm looking at you. Congratulations, you build some of the best motors this world has ever seen, whether it's Honda or Toyota. Besides getting smacked in the face every 10 feet, I think we're really starting to make some progress on getting the yard clean. While tree lines like this make for really nice windbreakers and snow barriers, they can be a nightmare to mow around and keep clean. It also depends on how tightly packed the trees are. These are really nicely spaced apart, and the bottom halves kind of either died off or never really fully grew down. I don't know why I had such a problem crawling up this hill the first time. This must have either been really thick brush, or it was just enough of a hill climb that even when I threw it in third gear, the mower just could not keep up with the amount of power it needed to draw versus the incline of the hill. The cut looks really good, don't get me wrong. It's got a couple spots that it probably could have hit lower, but for the most part, that's a really good looking pass. I know I can't have it, but I kind of want to drive that 1468 again before I leave, at least before I leave. That thing sounded so good, which is surprising because when it got up to speed, it sounded awesome, but at idle, the thing just sounds like a normal, almost like a traditional car V8. If it had like a really nasty low pull sitting at idle, it would be like the perfect tractor. It's pretty much just gonna be me chilling on this little guy for the next half hour trying to get all this grass chopped away. We'll check back with you guys when we're a little closer to done and I'm not chipping the deck on the side of a tree trunk. I can't really help myself, but there's this little treed spot in his backyard. It'd make for like a really nice gazebo or little swing, something that'd be like a getaway spot. It's just nicely shaded, kind of out in the open. I feel bad. I kind of want to turn this property into like a bunch of different projects now, but it's like you don't own it, nor has the guy who's here ordered any of those services. I'm just blindly going, hey, you could use that. Wait a minute. I'm like those inspector guys at the dealerships that give quotes on what needs to be fixed. You came in for an oil change and you got 17 other things wrong. I ended up cutting the backyard into, I believe, 4 different segments, and I think I just split my deck in 2. But it is cleaning up so nicely. It's gonna have to grow back. You gotta remember, properties like this are not gonna look like the Masters the first time you cut them. It's gonna take probably 3 or 4 yard cuttings before this yard really starts to look like it belongs on the cover of an open house magazine. But for what this place looked like, I think this is a pretty good turnaround. All we got left is this little spot behind the house and maybe a little bit alongside the, what would be the south side of the house? Holy cow. Hang on, do they got a pool in this backyard? Well, I'll be dipped in syrup. This guy's got an above ground pool in his backyard. Never known. I bet that water's a little full of algae. That one you might just be better to toss. Let's be real. Well, Dan, it's about as good as it's gonna get. I think your property is looking A-okay. Probably gonna have to throw away your pool, though. Would you mind if I took this thing out for another spin? I'm sorry. I kind of fell in love with it.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Dad. Appreciate you, sir. Tip my cap to you as well. It just sounds so good. The second somebody comes out with a tractor pulling mod where you can have the pulling sled, I'm making a video with this tractor. This is quite literally the definition of what a pulling tractor sounds like, in my opinion, when it's staging. Just imagine it popping a wheelie, having the torque with the axle sitting sideways. Full pull, baby, full pull. This thing needs an Andy Clean sticker on the side of it to complete the thing. Hold on. Is that a... I had no idea these things had 2 different PTOs. You learn something new every day. I'm gonna let that idle so it can really clean its system out. Clean up this last little bit that we happen to miss. Dan, I'm gonna have you move. Clean these up. Clean all this up. Take that out. That ugly snow fence. You can get that. Hell off that pool. I wouldn't pay 25 bucks for that thing if someone made me. Got some stuff behind the house. And if it was this easy to clean my house, I'd be ecstatic. I think that's really all. And there's a bird bath, but I know he wants to keep that. Got some nasty weeds under where the pool was. I'm gonna go clean that up quick. Considering what this property looked like before we got here, I think that turned out fantastic. It's gonna take time for this grass to come back and really make a full, nice, pretty lawn. But we got the International back on the trailer. I'm gonna get the mower pretty much strapped down and finish things up with Dan. We'll head our way back to the shop. It was so cool to be able to see that International in action. I don't think anything else in the shed's really gonna run, but it was so cool to see this thing especially. That's all I have for you guys today on Bucked Up Landscaping. Hope you really did enjoy the episode. So glad we can help out our community in need. I'm definitely sure that Dan's gonna appreciate that. And also a big shout out to our boys in red, the local fire department, keeping their yard all nice and clean. Speaking of clean, if you want to check out the world's greatest farm soap, you got to make sure you get yourself some Handy Clean at any of your local John Deere dealers. Other than you guys checking out the landscape playlist on the top right, remember to keep it light, keep it loose, keep it fresh, and most importantly, keep it fun. This is a rental. Man, out. Peace.